Hello, hello. It is wonderful to be back here. Derek, you and Kim did awesome last week. Kim, thank you so much for filling in.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's wonderful to have you back. Sounds like you had a great trip. So I'm doubly glad as far as that goes. And welcome, everyone. We really appreciate you joining us. And thank you to Alex, whose content we're going to take a look at today. I just want to say quickly, not only Alex, but everyone who has reached out or is in the process of reaching out, thank you so much for providing us with the topics that allow us to address your marketing concerns that are really at the top of mind for you.
Yeah, and even if you just tag us in a LinkedIn post and you're like, hey, I have this question on
Yeah,
video or on LinkedIn content, website content, YouTube and videos, like let us know because we had quite a chat with Alex going back and forth, which was awesome.
yeah,
And he was kind of asking, can I be authentic with a teleprompter?
yeah.
And I think we want to start, by just giving a shout out to how far Alex has come. Derek, if you want to dive in while I'm pulling this up here.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be a great example to all of you who are joining us or watching the recording of an advisor who did the thing. Alex reached out to us in large part. Hey, Kim, how are you? Glad you could join us. Alex reached out to us in large part because he's aware of the fact that he's at the very beginning of this journey. And yet, as you're seeing, he's already produced a number of videos and he is doing a phenomenal job. So, what we're going to do today is just kind of take a look at some of those areas in which he can continue to elevate his video content. But a shout out to Alex and all of you advisors who have taken the step and are moving into video marketing. This is totally the future. It is the future present. And so these are, I think, going to be really, really instructive examples for us.
I love it. And we've got Alex in the house. Shout out to Alex. Let us know what questions you have, anybody, as we're going through. But I just want to echo that, right? Alex was like just getting started with video, decided to just dive in and already getting really great engagement. Like this is so fun to see. And so we just want to look at a couple of examples here. So why don't we start with this first video, the 541k misconceptions. We're just going to watch the first 10 seconds. Let's dive in.
541k misconceptions you should be aware of. Misconception number one, a 401k is a retirement plan. A 401k is not a retirement plan, but rather an investment account that comes with some pretty cool tax benefits. It can be a great tool.
So, Derek, what was kind of your first impression watching this?
Well, really quickly, one of the things that we're really focused on in this episode is the use of a teleprompter,
Yeah.
right? And so our comments are really going to be geared toward when and how to best be using a teleprompter. And I think one of the things that you're seeing here, Katie and I, you certainly caught this. We were talking about it throughout the course of the week. One of the things you're seeing is there. It's subtle, but you can see Alex's eyes tracking the teleprompter.
Yeah.
And there's also a lack of separation in the cadence. And so you had said this very well. Everything kind of runs on together in terms of the presentation. These are small things. These are some of the little things, but they're two of the biggest impacts you can have in terms of video, particularly if you're leaning into the use of a teleprompter.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do also want to give Alex a shout out. I know you're using Descript, Alex. I love
Yeah.
Descript. I teach Descript. It is fantastic. I love that you've also added the captions here. So even though LinkedIn has auto captions, they've gotten a lot better. They were really kind of wonky about a year ago. I love that you added your own and you've got those animated captions. So like the word you're saying is highlighted. It really helps like trigger our brain, keep our attention. You've got some editing in, right? Like this is one of your first videos. You did really, really awesome. But yeah, to that point, like we can see in this freeze frame, right? Like looking up. And so think about if you're in a meeting, you wouldn't sit there, right? And kind of look this way. So you don't need to maintain eye contact the whole time. That can get a little bit creepy sometimes. We don't want to be creepy people. But so looking away naturally happens. You see when we're doing this, I'm always looking away, right? You can tell when I'm thinking, but we don't want it to be that far off. And so I know Alex has played with his setup. So how about before we kind of dive into some of the best recommendations, why don't we watch his most recent video?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's do about 10 seconds of this one.
Let's talk about an exciting, for me at least, and very important topic when it comes to your 401k account. how money goes into your 401k and how it comes out of it is not the same. First, don't just put.
Okay, so I will say, so I only know Alex from LinkedIn chats. Alex, let's hop on a call soon. But I was watching this and I was like, there's a little bit of Alex, but like just a little bit. I was like, where's Alex? Like it was such a perfect opportunity, right? Like we got just a glimpse, a glimmer. But I was thinking like if you were, sitting around at a, cocktail hour or networking event or even, talking with a prospect, I can tell that there is, Derek, as you put it when we were chatting, more Alex that is hiding behind that teleprompter.
Well, and I think that that's one of the best measures that you can take if you are using or thinking about using a teleprompter. When you go back, and this too is incredibly important to do, when you go back and watch and listen to yourself on camera, one of the things that you want to be looking for is exactly that. Does the person watching this, your prospective client, your current client, are they going to see all of you? Are they going to see your personality shine forth? And I want to say this is a great example too of how quickly you can evolve and adapt to the technology. Again, it's not like this is 3 years on from the prior video we showed.
Yeah.
There's a very, very short timeline here, but you can already see Alex getting more comfortable with his setup. As you say, Katie, you can start to see his personality emerging. And I would suggest to those of you who are using or thinking of using a teleprompter, if it interferes in your ability to be you on camera, then I think it's best to reconsider how you're using it. If you're using it to deliver full scripts, maybe a good option is to bullet that script, to give yourself talking points that you can use as anchors so that you're not just simply looking and reading. Because Katie, as you had said in our pre-show conversation, there's a big difference between something that's on the page or screen and a conversation. And we want to get the page or screen as close to the conversation as possible. Again, shout out to Alex. You've done an incredible job. It's already starting to happen, and that's just good news.
It is. And Kim, I echo huge improvement,
Yes.
right? We're definitely seeing that. We're seeing a lot of different things. And the freeze frame right here, Alex is making great eye contact here, right? That's working out really well. But again, I was like, we're getting just snippets of that. And so we've got more comments coming in here. Really like the lighting background. Yep. Captions in there, those subtitles. Absolutely. Alex, you're doing great things with, right? We always talk about the rule of thirds. We're not going to dive into that, but the fact that you have stuff on both sides, but nothing growing out of your head, always a good thing medically and visually. And then we've got Jessica. Yep. Bullet points as anchors. Absolutely a great way to put it. So thinking back to Alex's first video, when he was like, hey, I've got 5 key points. Alex, you know the content. I would recommend just having those 5 bullet points and then just practicing making sure that your message is really succinct in there. Because to Derek's point, as we're talking about, I'm just adding everybody in here. As we're talking about, kind of does your personality come through? The biggest thing that a lot of people don't realize, and Derek, you're a writer, you write really great stuff. We write very differently from how we speak. And most people don't realize that. Like I write very casually, but guess what? If I just write something out and then I go to read it, it still doesn't sound like exactly how I would say it if I was starting from a talking first standpoint. So if you're going to use a teleprompter, my rule is generally if a teleprompter will help you get content out, absolutely use it, with the caveat that with no exceptions, every single time as you're going through and even writing your script or writing your outline, I don't care if you're at a coffee shop, you have to say it out loud. Don't say it in your head. Don't go through it reading in your head. It literally has to be out loud because that's where you're going to catch, right? And Derek, you were talking about this, right? You're going to catch wherever you stumble as you're doing that is exactly how it's going to come through in video. And you're going to be like, well, that was awkward. That didn't work. Yeah. That's exactly what's happening there.
Well, and don't be afraid to adapt the script to your
Yep.
cadence. And one of the things that you will find is your ear is a lot faster than your eye when it comes to editing. And so if you are practicing, rehearsing a script, even if it's for a 30 or 60-second video, if there's something there that your ear snags on and you kind of stumble on pronouncing it or putting it together, don't feel as though the fault is yours. Go back into the script, do a little work there so
Yep.
that you're actually able to deliver those words exactly as you would say them. And you're going to find that that translates into that personability on screen.
Yeah, and I think 'cause we're already at the 10-minute mark, so we're definitely gonna have a part 2 of this.
Yes.
Back in the notes and everything, I will add, there are like 2 different ways to use a teleprompter. So I'm actually using a teleprompter right now. I am looking at a teleprompter, not using it for scripting. I'm using it for
Okay.
eye contact, but I'll link to a blog post that I have outlining all of that. And I would also say, for those of you thinking, okay, maybe I'm gonna get started with scripting, because advisors tend to ramble, humans tend to ramble, scripts can keep you tighter, keep you on point. Just start with a free teleprompter app on your phone. You have everything you need. Download an app, you can put a script in there, and I would just say have it far enough away that
Yes.
it's okay, right? If I'm looking from here to here, you're not really going to see a difference, right? But if it's very close, then even, a 1 inch is going to be very visually apparent. So just start with your phone. You don't need to spend money. You don't need to have a fancy setup, and just do that to start practicing. And Alex is just jumping in here. Saying it out loud has helped me a lot. Yep. First couple drafts didn't sound like you until I say it out loud. And it is such a fascinating exercise because you're like, but I wrote this. It's my thoughts. And you read out loud, you're like, interesting. I just don't speak that way. Now we've got Nathaniel jumping in here, saying the teleprompter. Yep. Out loud. I love it, guys. I love it. Before shooting, instructions in bold. Yes, exactly.
Great.
That is fabulous. Derek, any final thoughts?
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, again, I want to thank all of you for the engagement. Please, advisors, continue to reach out to us. We are more than happy. This entire show is predicated on your marketing concerns. So
Yep.
reach out to us, let us know, send us a DM, email us. How can we be helping you with the 10-minute marketing makeover? And Katie, it's great to have you back in studio. I'm looking forward to next week's episode.
As am I. Thank you all. Look forward to getting more content. We're trying to map out the rest of the year. So let us know. And as always, if there's anything you want to keep confidential, if you're like, hey, I tried this, we can keep content confidential. If you want us to do a review of something that isn't working, and I'm going to echo Kim there, keep making video. Takes time to get comfortable. Like starting anything new at all. It's going to be awkward in the beginning. Practice makes good enough. Yeah. How about that?
Love it. Totally love it.
Awesome. Thank you all.